Alright, so another day out in the garage freezing my ass off. I made a critical mistake before I started this job, and that was knowing that I needed to remove my driver's side axle. The passenger side I had recently replaced, so all of the hardware and stuff for the passenger side is easily removable. I'm going to try to keep the passenger side in, but the problem I'm facing is the driver's side there's not enough clearance. So the driver's side needs to come out, and the issue that I'm facing is I can't, well, let me just show you real quick here. So when you remove an axle, typically the first thing you do is pop this axle nut free. And the best way to do it is to have your wheel bolted on. Just remove that plastic cover in the center of your rim, and then have the car on the ground. So that way when you're cracking this nut free, you have the entire weight of the car pushing back or whatever. This is like 140 foot-pounds or whatever it is, I don't even remember. So having said that, now that I have my axle unbolted from the car, or the transmission, there's nothing to keep this from spinning if I put my tool in here. So I need to, what I thought I could do is try to free the pinch bolt up here. And yesterday what I did was I couldn't get this pinch bolt to budge or move at all. And what I ended up doing was I mushroomed the nut that goes on the end of that bolt right there, because I had beat the shit out of it, more or less. So now I gotta free up this entire spindle assembly so I can hopefully have it swing down just enough, or just a little bit, to the point where the axle will slide out of the way. So you can kind of see here, I need to get that axle a few inches this way, or removed. So I'm going to try a couple ideas to try to see if I can pop the axle nut free. I think I'm going to get this axle completely out of here and then just replace it with my Raxle. And let's see if we can make this happen. Alright, so here's my first attempt to try to break the axle nut free without lowering the car and without having the axle bolted to the transmission. So I got a screwdriver in the vanes of the rotor here. So when I turn it, it'll try to lock the rotor to the brake caliper. And then I did put in 3 lug nuts, and these are just basically locking the rotor to the spindle, or the hub. And I got my Allen bolt, or Allen socket on the thing here. Let's see what happens. This could be bad. Okay, let me see here. Okay. I'm gonna have to get a breaker bar. Yep, I just broke my 1/2-inch socket. Alright, so we got our breaker bar here. Let's see if we can make some magic happen. Yeah, I got your. That wasn't too bad. All I think I got the idea. Okay. Okay, now gotta work on this pinch bolt up top. We're gonna see if we can wiggle this out of here. I removed the axle nut by turning the wheel all the way to the right. If you remember, the axle is not connected to the transmission, it's already unbolted. Turned the wheel all the way to the right and was able to get it out of the hub here, but it's still basically in the way. So I'm going to now try to turn it to the left and see if I can slide it out that way. place work. So probably what I'm gonna do is try to get this pinch bolt out. Because even if it's removed for like, you know, I'm still gonna have to clean all this out. Just to do it. Anything. So let's see. No. There it is. Alright. Driver side axle. This is the first time removing it. Doesn't look like it's in that bad a shape. It's a little dirty. There you have it. Okay, so now we should be relatively free and clear. I'll figure out this pinch bolt at another time. Yay. Alright, let's get going now. Shooting myself in the way. The light doesn't here. Okay. Alright, I'm going to do our pull. Pull, push. So I'm pushing on the transmission. Yeah. Wait 1 second. Okay, we're going. Two, we're going. I see you. We're going. We're going. Okay, good. Okay, we have the round strap on the front of the engine. Let's be somebody on here. Let's do that. Oh, no. No longer extension. Oh, bigger than time. Whoa. I think it's 13. Oh. Alright, where's my 13? Let's see. Oh, here we go. This is 13. Let's see. Passenger side, round strap. Okay. I think that's the inside of the engine. Let's see. You might have to get on here. It's disconnected. And here we'll have to supply one. Okay, so I'm going to try to pull it out. Look underneath here as you keep coming out slowly. Make sure that your transmission pan and lines are clearing everything. You're going to get a little resistance from the heater core hoses. And now we are about to for the transmission pan. We'll jack up a little bit more. Let's see here. We got more room here. Pour a little more. Okay. Now we can put it into the hose. We're going to go higher now. Biggest concern is the transition of clearing suffering. Here, the hoses are really clear. Go higher with transition again. And what is this hose here? Okay, let me show you this. So what I've been checking all along is underneath here, the transmission pan clearance to the subframe. Also looking down all the sides here. But here's what I just noticed. That's your transmission. These are the heater core hoses, but see this line down here? It connects right here. It's a hard line. And it's probably coming from the fuel pump or something like that. But whatever it is, we're going to disconnect this line right here. And because it's bungeed or tied into the front firewall, yeah, let's do that now. Alright guys, there you have it. This is the first time pulling an engine and trans. I lost my rear jack. Okay, before I rip off my downpipes, I might need to inspect this. Okay. Excellent. Alright, I think we're still going to have enough room here. This is how much floor room to pull. I did damage my oil filter on the frame here, pulling it out before. That was because I went Hulk mode. You can see everything's kind of just resting on my subframe cross member here. What I got to do now is move my jack on this side of the subframe and delicately lift it up. Lift up the back of the transmission. So right now, everything's being held completely on by the cherry picker. We did it. Okay, and I'm excited right now. So let's get this out all the way and lowered down so it's a little more safe. Alright, as I'm pulling on this, I didn't even realize that I still have a connection, wire connection here. Looks like it comes over here, goes over here, and goes to what looks like the back of the starter. So, starter and the alternator. Okay, so I wanted to show a close-up so I don't forget how this goes back together. So this is that cable that comes from the firewall. Actually comes almost directly from the battery. Yeah, well, it does. And I removed that nut on the right, which connects the cable to the starter. This little hex on the left, that is a, what is this, number 5 hex, and that holds this line to the bottom corner of the oil pan. So you can see it right, let me show you here, right here. And there you go. So in the way this thing is run, it comes above the trans lines and over to this thing here. Now the problem that I'm experiencing is I decided to do this entire job on my anniversary weekend. So I got a girlfriend that wants to go out to dinner and whatever, and I got me that wants to at least get this safely down from, you know, high up in the air. So this wire, you can see there's a green connector, I think it's green, I don't know. That's a wire connector that goes in the back of the starter, as well as the, you can see it down there, that's the cable. What I need to do is either pull my alternator so I can get to the connection, the wire connection on the back of the engine, or back of the alternator, or try to reach back in there. Shoot. It's literally just a nut. Alright, so this is the option I took. I decided to just unbolt the alternator, then I can get to it. The alternator was held on by just 2 bolts. So over here is a 13 millimeter, and on this side it was a number 5 Allen key. And here we got full access to the back. I don't know, guys, what do you think? I was thinking about replacing this alternator. I think this is the original. I'm gonna have to look it up. And it's had oil and shit dripping on it forever. So I don't know, I'm gonna look up a price. It's probably gonna be cheaper just to replace it and not have to worry about it. What do you think about the starter? I don't know. You have to do an engine pull to replace the starter if that goes out? Well, 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 would you look at that. We got this bad boy out. Few more problems than anticipated, but got through them. And to be honest, guys, this didn't take that long. I've only been working on this for like 2 hours today. Only got maybe 3-4 hours yesterday, and I don't know, Friday night was a little bit of whatever. So it wasn't that complicated. I just never done it before, so there was a lot to learn. Yeah, so the transmission mounts did clear the subframe. And just look at how messy this thing is. There's just oil and shit everywhere. You can't even see the subframe, but it's completely caked up with axle grease and oil and all kinds of stuff. So I will be doing a bunch of cleanup and then start tearing into this bad boy soon. I just wanted to get it lowered down so that way it's a little bit safer. So I don't want to leave it up in the air and stuff. I don't know if this hoist will lose lift over time if I let it sit for a little bit. But that's about it. So that's all you need to know to pull a Tiptronic trans and engine out. And yeah, let me know if you have any comments or questions about this. And I appreciate you guys checking everything out. The only issues I ran into was I cracked this little valve here. I broke out I busted out my pinch bolt and nut on the driver's side. And what else? A couple other small things that I need to look into getting or replacing. But we did it. That's it. So that's the task of getting it out of the car. In future videos, I'm going to show how to replace the power steering pump, how to replace the turbos, and torque converter. I got to somehow, some way, get to the torque converter on this bad boy.